giving a motivational speech to his toys. And he's modeling, on one screen, obviously it goes back and forth, but he's modeling what a coach was giving a motivational speech to a team of kids. I thought it was awesome, by the way. And the whole commercial was about belief as a superpower. There we go. Fixing my audio here, so hopefully you can hear me more clearly. But the greatest thing about that was there was no celebrities, there were no high dollar actors, there was no big production value. The star of the show was the young boy and the toys that he was speaking to. And at the end, he starts screaming, "I am a champion." And there was so much in there about how belief is a superpower that builds your confidence that I wanted to come and address that today because I thought it was brilliant. First of all, my structure, for those who may not listen to this podcast, unshakable confidence, I submit for you to consider, is a skill. It is a skill that has three major components that you have to build up to. First of all, the first component of self-confidence, unshakable self-confidence, and developing a skill to activate that unshakable self-confidence when you need it, when times are rough, when things aren't going so well, when everybody else has doubt and is losing their confidence, they'll look to you, or you will emerge as a leader in that space to help everybody instill theirs. It's three things that you need to be able to do to activate your confidence at any minute. Number one is self-acceptance. No matter what's going on, you got to recognize it, call it what it is, and just get the elephant out the room. Call a spade a spade. Call the pink elephant a big ass pink elephant and make sure everybody sees it. That is the foundation of a house or any structure that you're trying to build, is acceptance. You building the life that you want. You can fake it till you make it, but not for so long and only fake it to so many people. You've got to come to a place in life where you're good with you. You accept you. You're the only you you're ever going to be. You're the only you who's ever existed. So why waste time comparing yourself to anybody else? Self-acceptance is the foundation of unshakable confidence. The second thing is self-competence. You got to know what you're doing. And then the third thing is strategy. But we're going to live and hang out with this self-acceptance piece, because belief, if self-acceptance is the foundation of which big structures are built on, big dreams, big goals, big beliefs, businesses. If self-acceptance is the foundation, accepting where you are, knowing where you are, being comfortable where you are, and then building on top of that, belief is like the support beams. Belief is the weight-bearing columns in your house. Just think about a skyscraper when it's built. They first have to dig down into the ground so they can secure that building, so it can stabilize that building. So no matter how tall it's built, when the winds and the rains and the storm and the elements beat up that structure, it's secure. Well, belief is that beam, that support beam, that column. If self-acceptance is the foundation, belief is the backbone of the structure that you're building. Because just as a home is built, just as a skyscraper is built, just as these buildings are built, and they've got these support beams, the inside of that structure can be open. It can be, full of windows, and you don't see any visible support beams or structures anyway. anywhere. They're cleverly designed and hidden in the walls, but it's on the inside. That belief is on the inside, and just as the support beams, just as the columns, the weight bearing walls, the joists become the backbone of that structure that keeps it stable. Belief works the same way for our souls. It does the work on the inside where it can't be seen. And when you take action and start building something in confidence, the doubt, the fear, the blowback, the negative feedback, the criticism of others that beat up on what you're building won't affect you, because that belief continues to be your support that keeps you stable. So just as these structures keep, a building open, our belief keeps our soul open to possibilities that you cannot see and you cannot prove. And that's essentially what belief is. Acceptance of that something is true that you may not be able to believe yet. Think back. Um, Throughout the history of the world, belief is that thing that is the starting point for new possibilities. Think back to, the 1800s, when the mode of transportation, was commonly by train. Can you imagine someone talking to someone riding a train saying, in the future, it won't take a month to get from New York to San Francisco. There's going to be airplanes, these big steel things that flies over the country, and you can get there in a few hours. Now, I'm not saying that was the conversation that the Wright brothers had, or any engineers or inventors before them, but the point being is that belief is the start of what's possible. Belief is what makes what people once thought impossible possible. Persistent belief. Think about civil rights. Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, which, by the way, was not originally titled I Have a Dream. That part wasn't actually in the speech, but that's what he was speaking to, his belief. The speech was actually titled Normalcy Never Again, and it was about, which he talked about on many occasions, the failed promises of the U.S. Constitution for Black Americans and people of color. He talked about the bad check that was written to Black people for racial injustice and economic inequality. But he believed that America could be what the Constitution said it could be. If you would imagine, in that day and before the time of Dr. King, with all the powerful and just incredible civil rights leaders there has been in the United States, they had this belief. Imagine speaking that belief publicly. How some people, no matter what color their skin, would look at that person like they're crazy. And even some people will want to hurt you for speaking your belief that the promises in the U.S. Constitution can apply to actually all people, including women, immigrants, people of color. Belief is your superpower. But here's the thing. Belief is fleeting, all right? Belief is fragile. So there's some things that you've got to do in order to strengthen your belief, because it will fade. Even if you have those three elements to build your self-confidence, with belief being a core aspect of it, you've got to do something to maintain and strengthen that belief, because belief is fragile and belief is fleeting. But here's the starting point. It's belief is fleeting because it's hard to hold that image of something you believe, something that you can't see yet. You living a different life, you traveling to somewhere that no one you know has ever been before, you seeing the world in a way that it doesn't quite yet exist, or having a vision of creating something with no evidence that you can actually do it from your past experiences or knowing anybody that's done it before. A starting point for that belief is simply saying it's possible. My favorite book says all things are possible to he who believes in the power of Jesus Christ. He came here to give us life and life more abundantly, to increase our faith, our belief that we can live a life that we envision to his glory and power. Belief is fragile and fleeting, but anytime you have a doubt and you start to come back off of that belief, or that picture, that vision gets unclear and it starts to flicker, just say it's possible. You may not believe it with full integrity to see that picture in 4K, but you can say it's possible and keep that vision alive. Now, there's let's say four things you need to do to feed your faith, to feed that belief, to bolster your belief, because the belief is the internal support structure of your confidence at any time and in any situation that you're in. So the first thing you need to do is you need to bathe yourself in that belief. The tendency is for people to back off of what they believe that they cannot prove, because if they utter something to someone, they might feel silly. That person might look at them like they're crazy. It might scare you, quite frankly. It's hard to believe. It's not easy. If it was easy to believe and do, the world will be a different place. Most of the people that you know who talk about the things and wish the things that they wanted to do would have done them already if belief was easy. It's not easy. So you got to bathe yourself in belief. What does that mean? Spend time with it. Spend time with that belief. Don't back away from the thought because of the feelings of fear or anxiety or doubt. Lean into it and understand that those feelings are natural. Spend time with it, meaning take 10 minutes and daydream. Think about it in Technicolor. I mean, like 3D IMAX experience this thing that you believe. What is the best possible outcome that can happen as a result of what you believe? What is the impact that it would have on others? How would it affect you and your quality of life? How would that make you feel? When you spend time with what you believe, it starts to permeate your physical being. It starts to get into your cells. Those endorphins start to pump. Those feelings start to get pleasant feelings about it. And you start to build confidence that not only can you do it because it is possible, you start to understand that the path to get there is also becoming more clear. So you got to spend time with your belief to the point where you can see yourself clearly in that thing that you're believing. And that's when your belief actually becomes tangible. See, belief can be compared to dreams. Dreams are also fleeting. But guess what? Dreams don't go away. That's why they're called dreams. You probably still have dreams from the time that you were a kid. A year ago, 10 years ago. A dream that still exists. It goes and it comes, but it still exists because you're emotionally tied to that thing and it will not go away. That's belief. But when you actually lean into it, when you're actually intentional about spending time with that dream, about bathing yourself in your belief and future pacing yourself, forcing your brain and your neuroreceptors, because they can't tell the difference between something that's real or something that's imagined. But when you bathe yourself in your belief, the energy in your body starts to respond and it becomes a vision. And the difference between a dream and a vision, a dream is that thing that is aspirational, that is fleeting, that is fragile. But a vision is something tangible, because a vision is how you see yourself in what you believe. And when you can clearly see yourself doing the thing, when you clearly see how that thing will impact your life, when you clearly see the impact of that thing on people that you care about, the legacy that you can leave as a result of bathing yourself in that belief, that is when it becomes a vision, because you can actually see yourself in the dream doing the thing that you're believing. You can do this with integrity instead of, oh, this is a fleeting dream. This is aspirational. I hope, I wish. This is, not only can I see it, feel it, touch it, taste it, even though it's not here, I have that driving force to go manifest it. And so the second thing you need to do in order to manifest your belief is to write it down. Writing something down is the first step of creation. Anything, I mean, if you look around, like I'm on video here, and if you listen to this on your favorite podcast streaming, just look around you, whether you're driving a car, you're working out at the gym, taking a walk, literally look at everything around you that is not naturally occurring. Let's say that. Everything around you that was created by someone had to first be written down. The clothes that you're wearing were first sketches. The car that you're driving, there had to be engineers and designers to put this thing down on paper or into a computer. Either way, it had to be manifested on paper or in a program where someone else can then read it and see the vision as well. So you bathe yourself in your belief, then you got to write it down somewhere. And when you write it down, that's when the real magic happens, because then it becomes real. It's the first step of manifestation. The famous or notable scripture in Habakkuk, I can't even pronounce it, Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, where it says, write the vision and make it plain, so he that readeth might run. Oh, let's unpack that. Write the vision. Remember, this is more than belief. Belief has transformed into a vision. And when it's a vision, you can clearly see yourself in it. And only when you have a clear picture can you write it down. So he that readeth, you write it down so it can be read by others. First of all, so it can be read by you. And it should be exciting. It should be motivating. It should be intrinsically motivating. When you read it, it sparks something inside of you to take action. And the action that the scripture is saying is that it will inspire you to move, run, do something, to get your energy up, get your confidence up, to activate your confidence in that moment, that he might read who run it. You write your beliefs down because beliefs are fragile and fleeting, and you can read them and re-inspire yourself. Get yourself motivated all again. Get back in touch with the emotional charge that sparked the belief in the first place. Something really powerful. Years ago, I read that billionaire by the name of Bill Bartman, and I may have mentioned this on past confidence coaching clinic podcasts, but Bill Bartman was a billionaire, and he was one of the owners of the Chicago Bulls when they drafted Michael Jordan. He said one of the main drivers that he credits his accomplishment of earning millions of dollars, creating businesses, was the fact that he wrote down his goals and he has set aside 20 minutes a day to review his goals. Because each time he read the goals, not only were he re-engaging them and keeping himself on track, but it allowed his subconscious, his neural pathways to get involved. And as he read something, he may not have an answer. He may not have insight into how to make it happen. But as he read them every day, he would come back to those goals and have something new to write down that he could do to get there. There's power in writing your belief down so you don't get weary and it doesn't fade. The third thing that you can do, bathe yourself in the belief, write your beliefs down, and then speak it. Speak your beliefs. These are called affirmations. In the commercial, there's a kid yelling, "I am a champion." That's an affirmation. You got to polish the inner mirror because you've got to be able to look inside and see the true you. And there are affirmations. Just reading your goals out loud, praying about what you believe, speaking it out loud creates a shift internally with your energy to manifest your vision externally. Speak it. I mean, my goodness, take it to politics. What do politicians do? They speak their beliefs. No one would have thought that Barack Obama could have ever become president in the time that he started running. No one. But the more he went out to speak his beliefs, the more people caught on. And he became the 44th president of the United States. Same is true with Donald Trump. No matter what you think about him, he speaks his beliefs and it resonates with voters. It resonates with citizens. And it creates the same internal shift with those people. I'm just trying to draw a picture to help you understand how powerful it is to speak your beliefs. Don't back away. Pick a side. Have an opinion. Speak your beliefs. And we're talking about this in the context of building your confidence. Speak what you believe. You'll get more confidence when it resonates with other people and they feed back to you. That positive feedback from one person equals, 2 negative people. Well, actually, that's not true. Negative comments have, its way of creating or taking, deposits or withdrawals of our power. The reason why you want to speak your beliefs is because it is a deposit of power. And as you speak it, The those who it resonates with will affirm it back, and that builds your confidence even more. Speaking your beliefs helps you combat the weariness, combat the fragility of your faith in what you believe. But again, you can always go back to saying it's possible. It's possible because it is possible, and that can get you back on track. You want to bathe yourself in your beliefs, spend time with that dream and that vision. You want to write your belief down. My goodness, everything that is created, man-made, had to be written. If you've got a belief and you've got a deep conviction about that belief, write that belief down. Then speak it. Speak a word. The power of the spoken word has changed the world. The power of your spoken beliefs will change your world. And then the final thing is you want to surround yourself with people who also believe. Our whole conversation here is about superpower, belief being your superpower. Belief is the acceptance that something that you can't prove is real, but you accept it as being true. But it is also a fact that belief is fragile and fleeting. But when you are so convicted that you surround yourself with other people who believe what you believe, that multiplies your confidence. Not that you're looking for affirmation. What it is that you need to be in an environment with the people that have the same energy and vibration as you, because it builds your confidence and conviction. Sometimes you need to believe in somebody else's belief until your belief kicks in, because you're going to bump your head. You're going to fail miserably. You're going to be in situations that cause you to doubt. But surrounding yourself with other people who believe, their voices can be fuel to your fire. Your voice is going to get weary, even when you speak it over yourself, because you will get tired of you. But when you're surrounded by people who believe, voices that you don't hear that often lift you. They'll say it in ways that you haven't heard it before. They will confirm for you things that you've heard only whispered in your spirit. More importantly, when you surround yourself with people who believe, you normalize the success that you envision. These can be mentors. These can be your peers. If you want to improve your quality of life, you can't hang out with 4 broke people, or you will soon be the 5th. You have to get yourself in new groups of people who've done things that you want to do, because you'll normalize that success. It won't be so aspirational or fleeting. It's common now. You're talking to people who not only done it, they'll tell you how to do it. Being around people who also believe what you believe can change how you see yourself. If you don't want to be that 5th broke person, you get yourself into a new group of people. Activate your personal power. Learn the skill of confidence to hang out with people who may be doing better than you are financially. Because if you have the least net worth of a group of 10 people, hanging around people who believe in things that you want to do, which is improve your quality of life and increase your net worth, in short order will be common, because you will see yourself differently. Belief is your superpower. Check out iwantmorenow.com. I've got some resources for you. First, Everyday Star Power, the 12-step confidence algorithm, and Claim Your Star Power, my first memoir that shows how I reinvented myself after a year of unemployment and nearly bankrupt to become an expert in the precision medicine space and build companies. Check me out at romadison.com. Follow me on social media. If this has been helpful for you, please write comments on the post. Rate us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, wherever you're listening to this. Reach down, rate us 5 stars, and subscribe. We'll see you next week here at the Confidence Coaching Clinic.